I always talk about our relationship with our horses and how that is why we do horses.
Mhm.
Otherwise,
Yes.
my joke is like, otherwise we'd have a tennis racket.
So I'm here with Dr. Jenny Susser, and we're here to do a little inspirational speak into 2026. Although we're already pretty far into 2026, so we're going to talk about sliding into the year of the fire horse. So lovely to have you here because you're a professional at goal setting. But I'm a little bit curious first. What are some things that you learned in 2025, maybe about riding, but also about you as a person and a private person in the horse industry?
How much time do we have?
Yeah, let's do the shit.
The last 12 or 13 months has been quite a bit of change for me. And personally, just to be honest, I've lost all 3 of my horses in the last 13 months. Thank you. And so they were all older. One was 23, one was 28, and the last one was 25. So 2 last January and 1 just a couple of weeks ago. And it has been, trying to think of an adequate word for, I guess, it's sort of upended me a bit as an equestrian, as a rider, as a horse owner, as a horse person.
Mm-hmm.
And changed my perspective and changed my view, especially this last one. Like, I've not been horseless in 24 years, and I'm horseless, which is interesting. And the last several years of my riding life have not been very riding because I had older horses, and I had a shoulder replacement last year, and so I find myself in this place that I've never been in, which is sort of obvious based on age and life, but also probably one that I didn't expect to be in. I mean, you can kind of see it, like you get young horses and they grow old and they leave their bodies, and that's sort of the deal, which I'm okay with.
But you never really think it's going to happen, in a way.
Well, I think it's impossible to know how you're going to respond to it. And so each loss was really very different because my relationships were very different.
Mm-hmm.
So I've just learned quite a bit about myself from that. So if we're talking about goals, terribly interesting to be, I'm turning 59 next month, and really haven't ridden very much in the last 5 years. And so now here I am, like, okay, I'm going to get another horse, and I got to ride, and now I got to set some goals that are very different from the other ones that I had. The goals that I've had with my horses over the last chunk of their lives was much more about like the quality of the time we would spend together, and different from when they were young. And now I'm like, okay, I'm at a whole new place that I've never been at. And I've coached a lot of people through this. So it's interesting.
When the shoe's on your own foot, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's terribly interesting because it's always great to have like a different cut at an experience that I support people with. Everyone loses an animal. We just do.
Yeah.
This is what we sign up for. And while it's heartbreaking, there's a part of it that's okay, because yes, we know it's coming at some point. And I still would go back and do every decision and every moment of it again with the same amount of heartbreak.
Yes.
So, but to have that different lens to the experience has been, it's been powerful, and I'm still kind of sorting through it. So this year compared to last, I mean, it feels like all of the energy all over the place has really changed from last year to this
Good.
year.
Yeah. So what's one specific thing maybe about yourself that you've learned through this grief, which, grief is a profound, life-changing experience, I think.
I always talk about our relationship with our horses, and how that is why we do horses. Otherwise,
Yes.
my joke is like, otherwise we'd have a tennis racket,
Yes.
or something of the sort, a dirt bike or whatever it is. We do horses because, we all had little Briar's horses or Red Black Beauty or saw the Black Stallion or something, something like that.
Yeah.
And my relationships with my horses, they were awesome. I hear people talk about their one heart horse. Well, I've been so blessed. I've had like 5, and each of my horses I was so deeply connected to. And so it's been really interesting. This week I've started riding some of Meta's horses that I don't have the relationship with. And the difference is staggering. To get on, like, I love to ride, but I'm not like a professional or a trainer or someone that loves to catch ride and get on any horse. I go to visit people and they're like, oh, do you want to ride my horse? And I'm like, not really. Because to me, it's about that relationship. So I've been riding a couple of Meta's horses this week, and it's been really different. And the difference in the relationship, gosh, I rode a couple days in a row, and then like the third day I just got off and cried because it wasn't my horse, and that was really interesting to me. So I think as I take that to the work that I do, it just brings out like the next layer of depth with regards to how important our relationship is with our horses, and to not step over that.
Yeah. It's funny how sometimes we don't appreciate things until they're gone.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciated it, but I didn't know how much.
Right.
Like I was always very grateful, especially when I had one horse left. I had one horse for exactly 1 year, like almost to the day. And for every day of that year, I was so grateful. So grateful to still have him. And when we would spend, and he was 25 and had some stuff, and so I didn't ride him very much. And then I had my shoulder replaced, so I couldn't ride for months. And so every minute that I was with him, I was like, this is just great. And he was, I mean, would laugh and say, like, if he were a person, we'd finish each other's sentences. Like,
that's awesome.
20 years together, you get that. And
that's awesome. I mean, that is a beautiful lesson, because we are also blessed to have horses in our lives, but sometimes we underappreciate and are not grateful enough every single day.
Yeah. And I think that another piece of it has been like the ability to put together all the different people who have contributed to my horse life, all the things that I've learned. There's, as a psychologist, I mean, I'm a sports psychologist. I'm also like a clinical psychologist. I'm a shrink. And to watch what's happening, there's a lot of stuff now that is really thinking about the horse in a new way, in a new, different scientific way. I remember when I got to the horse industry, I wasn't always in the horse industry. And then I got to the horse industry after grad school. And I looked at the way that we did competitive stuff 25 years ago, and I was like, wait a second, these are athletes. We need to really treat them like athletes. Like, where's the research? And so we're starting to get there, and some of the great stuff that we're learning about psychobiology and psychoneurology and the autonomic nervous. So there's a lot of stuff about horses and how they think and feel, and a lot of it's really great. Some of it is inaccurate, but the fact that we're talking about it, I think that's probably what's most important.
Yeah, and we're talking about horses more as a relationship in a way. Than I think we ever have. So it falls into place.
I agree. I agree with that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful lesson. So we're moving out of the year of the snake.
Mm-hmm.
So what is something that you want to shed that you don't want to take with you, that maybe served you in the past, or something that you believed or did that you just want to drop without making a judgment or thinking about it too much?
So I love that this being 2026 being the year of the fire horse, right? So horse people are like, what is this? What does this mean? So I have followed different years of the Chinese, the way that they do their years, like last year being a wood snake and this year being a fire horse, and the transition. And so if you think metaphorically about a snake, what does a snake do? They shed their skin. So last year was a year for shedding things, and this year is for galloping forward, right?
Nice. I love that.
And I've always talked about being a very good worrier. Like, I worry. I come by it very honestly. My mom worried, my grandmother worried. Like, it's very habitual in my family, and it's always been a bit of a Achilles heel for me. I worry to a very extreme extent, and I've always tried to take my worry and turn it into foresight. So if I would worry about my horse, then I would say, okay, what am I worried about? What's true? What's actual? What can I deal with? And what can I do to make it better? What can I do to prevent, if this is something that happened, prevent it from happening again, or make whatever I'm worrying about better? So like that. But I think I lost a lot more sleep and got a lot more gray than maybe I needed to. And so thinking about having another horse, one of the things I'd like to take into this fire horse year would be a little less worry and a little more being more present, and a little more love. Not like there wasn't love, but it was always a little bit worried.
Well, worry is an emotion, which is an energy. Right? So we bring that. I read recently this line that said that every thought is a vote for the energy you want to bring into something.
Oh, that's nice. I like that.
So I thought that was very powerful. But dropping worry, that's a beautiful thing.
I don't know if I could drop it, but I think.
Are you going to drop parts of it?
I think I could, like now having a little perspective about how the worry served me. I mean, listen, my horses live to be 23, 28, and 25. And my 28-year-old probably shouldn't have lived that long. And he probably did because I worried so much about him. But I'd like for it to be a little less damaging, a little more productive maybe, so that it got in the way. I'm sure it got in the way of times when I was with him. And I'd like to shed that and be a little more present.
Nice. That's awesome. So of course everyone is curious because you're an expert in goal setting. Do you set goals for yourself? Do you even define them as goals? Do you do resolutions? Do you do intentions? I heard you say that you write your goals in pen so because they might change, and I really love that.
Yeah.
So I mean, you don't really know what's coming, as in what kind of horse will you have, what do you want to do. So how do you feel about that this year?
I'm not a big fan of resolutions.
Okay.
Because in my experience, most people are like, I'm going to write a New Year's resolution. I'm going to take, one day and write down a bunch of stuff. And typically they've lost connection to it or sight of it or motivation or the inspiration of it by the end of January. And so I'm not a big resolutions person. What we've done, what Meta and I have done for the extent of our relationship is our yearly wishes. So what we do on January 1st is we write down wishes.
Nice.
We just write them down and then we stick them. We have a box and then we don't look at them again until the next January.
Wow. Right?
So we just throw them out there and then we do what we do with regards to like kind of that annual thing. I do set personal goals.
Is there one you want to share with us?
Is there one I want to share? Well, So I set them in different areas, right? So I have professional goals,
Mm-hmm.
and I have health goals and fitness goals. And, with having my shoulder replaced, it really was, it was very difficult.
That's a hard surgery.
It was a heavy duty surgery, and I was prepared for a lot of it and not prepared for a lot of it, but it was really good. I'm very glad that I did it, and my surgeon was terrific, and it was very successful, and I worked really hard and it's great. My shoulder is so much better now.
Yeah. But if they told you ahead of time how hard that was, few people would do it. That's why they don't.
I guess. I mean, I need to do the other one, but
You're gonna wait.
I'm gonna hit pause on that one for a bit. So I do set goals in the different areas of my life. I do write them down. I do SMART goals.
Oh.
I do set calendar alerts. I do it the right way because goal setting is really powerful. I'm working on a new business project, and so I've been setting a lot of goals around that. And so there's like, I talk about hard versus soft goals, and hard goals are the, like in horses it would be qualify for regional championships, right? The hard goals, the like super measurable, action oriented, The softer goals are like the more personal, the more feel, the emotional goals. And so I've been so busy identifying what I'm looking for in a horse, my horse that just passed away, I didn't ride the Grand Prix. He was trained to Grand Prix, and he was, so when we were young and good for, like, he was really fun. And he was like, if you were cantering and you went across the diagonal, he just did tempies, whether you asked or not. Nice. Like, he was that dude, fun. And he was a Grimaldi, so I piaffed and passaged on him. I don't know how to piaffe or passage like he did. And but if I never do that again, I'm okay. Like, I want to go back to like kind of being a kid on a horse, like I want something that's just like, I just want to have fun and have a relationship. And so I've been like creating this new picture of my next horse, which has been very fun, a little heart-wrenching at times, but it's been really good. So that's been kind of what I've been cooking up over, especially this week. And so I haven't set like a really solid hard goal on that yet, but I do have some soft goals, like about how I want to feel in my relationship with my horse and what I want to do with this next horse.
Nice. And do you set like who you want to, how what we do makes us who we are as a person? And I think, that's what kind of makes horses different. We have this personal relationship and help us be a better person, better version of ourselves. Is there
Hopefully.
Something like in that for you where you want to be? You said you spent the last year really being grateful for every day with your horse. Is that something that you want to do more of, that you are more of a grateful person, or something, that type of goal?
I feel like my dad was always really grateful. So I really learned about gratitude. I didn't even learn about gratitude. Gratitude was something that I grew up around because
you're lucky.
Oh, so lucky.
So lucky.
Even when even towards the end of his life, when things weren't so good for him physically and health-wise, and he'd be like, "Oh, I had the best life though."
If we could all walk through life like that, it'd be great.
So I feel like gratitude is a little bit of an inherited gene. Nice. So I was lucky, grateful about that.
Yeah. Good one.
And so I think with my next horse, that I want to be a little more, I want to be less in a box, right? Which is why I'm not looking for like a dressage horse. And I really want to have a different kind of experience that I'm not really sure what that'll look like yet. But, I don't care if I never do another pirouette or an extended trot or any of those things again. But I'd like to really have riding be joyful again. Hasn't been joyful for a long time.
Riding should be joyful.
And I want it to be joyful again. So
that's beautiful. That's a huge goal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like a ginormous goal when you think about it, isn't it?
Yeah. So this wonderful person helping me look for my horse, she's like, you want to get off, you want to just be smiling. You want to get on a horse and smile, and you want to get off and smile harder.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah, that's it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. That is very awesome. So is there something that you want to share with riders, like a message that you could give that you think will help people have a better 2026?
Yes. I work with mostly women because my sweet spot is confidence and fear and performance. And what I find with women equestrian, and it doesn't matter the age, but we have a lot of trouble trusting our gut.
Yes.
So the horse industry and the horse philosophy and the foundations of our riding, not bad, maybe bad, but they come from men, right? So right. So not to bash men, but to say that most of our foundational and training and developmental ideas have come from men and military and whatever it's been, competition, whatever it's been.
Yep.
So I don't think that the horse world and the way that we do horses is really designed for women, right? And so like, for instance, there were no women's running shoes until the 1980s.
Yeah.
Women wore small men's shoes,
right.
But women have a different foot.
Yeah.
They have a different knee. They have because of their different hip angle.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So it wasn't until the 80s when women started to get heavily into running that they said, hey, we better design a running shoe. But we really haven't designed our horse world around women.
Ooh, you're revolutionizing.
I'm
All right.
Well, I really try to point this out, right? Because change takes time, and rewriting philosophies and foundations and methodologies and changing systems takes time. And so the awareness piece is really important. And I think that young girls, so I'm Gen X, and a lot of, and still to this day, like young girls are taught to sort of ignore their gut instincts, right? Like, oh, smile, let so-and-so give you a hug. When we were young, we were taught like, okay, go sit on so-and-so's lap and don't make a fuss and all, or, this is how things have always been done. And we get this moment where I've had so many women say to me, like, I watched my trainer do something to my horse and I got nauseated.
Yes.
But I couldn't say anything.
Right.
And those are the things where, like, when you feel something, it's your horse. Please empower yourself or feel empowered or find some way to be able to speak what you feel is your truth. We shy away from that because we were taught at a young age to disregard our gut instinct and that our voice didn't really matter. And then we become women of a certain age and we're like, I need to trust my gut. And then we're like, where is it?
Where is it?
And so look for it, find it, and listen to it and figure out how to fit that into making your life, your horse's life and your horse life better and suit you more.
That's a beautiful one. Is this something that your new business venture is about?
Yeah, not directly, but
I might ask that question.
Okay.
But it's a beautiful thought.
It's something that I like sort of make my way into, and it's not hard to make your way into saying it with every woman that I've worked with.
Right.
Because there's always that moment of doubt, like, do I deserve to think that?
We're taught to doubt
ourselves
a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's some wiring differences, you ask a man about confidence and you ask a woman about confidence, and I've done this for 30 years, and the answers are always just like so drastically different. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And so we're wired a little differently. And so how do we as women fit our relationship to confidence and what we want to do and our gut? I think that denying how we think and feel inside really erodes confidence.
Right.
You know, how do you connect to your skills if you're constantly doubting what you think
Yeah.
and what you feel?
Yes.
And if what you see doesn't match what you think. And
right.
So, so that's, it's something that it comes up with everyone, even if I don't look for it.
It kind of fits into the fire horse, courage.
Yeah, galloping forward, right? Like, and you don't have to do it drastically. Like sometimes the way in is just to start asking questions.
Yes.
You know, I don't really believe that there are too many people who come into the horse world with really bad intentions. I think that we get lost.
Yes. And we all, I think, come into it loving horses. However that obviously looks different for every person, but in the end, that's why we do it.
Yeah.
And then somewhere, part of that erodes a little bit sometimes. So that's a beautiful message. For the year of the horse.
For the year of the horse.
Thank
you know,
you.
Like, and if you can't start off at a gallop, start off at a walk.
That's right. There's no such thing as I just walked, right?
Right.
You're in the saddle, you're on the back of a horse. It's magic.
Yes, definitely magic.
Thank you so much. This was wonderful.
Thank you for having me.